Hello everyone, it's Gareth here. It's the 19th of June. I'm BigFriendlyWarGamer as well. I forgot that. And I'm going to do and sit and talk for an hour like I normally do. So I'll do a quick run around of what I've got on my desk at the moment. Last week I started all those Tyranids, which I finished, which is cool. But I then started my 5 Death Company, which I have here. Let's give you a bit of a look at them. Don't know if that shows up very well or not, but we'll see. I've got Logan Grimnar still on my desk, which I've done some more work on. He's getting closer to being finished now. My Demon Prince, which I still haven't re-undercoated. Chicken. And I've got my 5 Chaos Chosen, which I haven't touched from last week, and my Harlequin that I haven't touched from last week. So we're going to try and get some more done today, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we're going to start with these Death Company. Just do some highlights on the reds, and yeah, these Death Company aren't far from being finished. Bit of dried paint in the pot. Yeah, they're actually quite close. So I've got some highlights to do. Got their bases to do, and their backpacks, and they're more or less done then. So I tend to talk about my week. I got some painting done. I played the tournament over the weekend, which went quite badly. I finished bottom, but it's fine. It's not a problem. I had 5 games. They're all enjoyable. On the was it the 3rd game? That was on the Saturday. I played a friend of mine from the club, and to say that my dice rolling was horrific would be quite an understatement. So yeah, maybe my army selection wasn't great, and I know that, but I thought they might have done better than they did. But I lost 3 games and I drew 1. I lost 4 games and I drew 1, sorry. But you know, I'm not that competitive 40k player that it's going to bother me. So back on the horse, as they say. And I had a Monday night off from the club last night, so I actually, from Sunday, I had the last game that I played on the Sunday. I conceded because I had hurt my back. I was really struggling to stand or for any length of time. So yeah, I conceded. And some of the armies there were really well painted, stunning paint jobs. I was quite surprised that my army was voted as one of the best painted as well. I finished 3rd for the 3rd best painted army, which I'm very surprised about. But it's what I do, isn't it? So painting is what I do. So that was cool. And then yesterday I kind of was just lazy all day. Because I could be. So I was. I literally just played my PlayStation, that kind of thing. Recovering from the weekend, shall we say. That's not good. Let's go. So that's the edge highlighting on that guy done. Yeah, and last night it was the England's first game in the World Cup, which was a much harder game than it should have been because of England. Because England are England. And so we played at Tunisia. And not saying it should have been an auto win, but from how we started, we should have won that game 3 or 4-0. But good old England, as per usual, we scored a goal and then got complacent and let the other team back into the game. Dodgy defending, as per usual. But we snatched it at death, so not all bad. And then it's Tuesday, so I do this on a Tuesday. I still haven't got back into work yet. Haven't even been looking. Well, that's wrong. I have been looking, but I'm not applying yet. I know I've got to work out resolve the issues from my former job, but I'm not in a place where I want to do that just yet. And again, they've not come to me, so obviously they give as much of a crap as I do, so yeah. But yeah, I can just keep painting. I'm on 113 models for the year now, with the 7 Tyranids I painted last week. These 5 guys that I've got here would put me on 117. Means I would be 3 away from being on target for the year. Which I've got, the guys I've got in front of me, I could easily get that done. I was thinking about the paint scheme for my Warriors of Chaos, and I was going to go for quite an easy colour scheme. But I don't know now. We'll see. But yeah, it's been a fairly quiet week apart from that. Not much has happened really. I mean, I know they've now got the pre-orders up for Age of Sigmar 2nd edition, which is cool. Unfortunately, it's something I can't really touch at the moment because of not knowing what's happening with work and stuff, but that's okay. I'm not one of those who needs to have the latest thing straight away anyway. Age of Sigmar, I can take it or leave it. I'm not its biggest fan, shall we say. And to be honest, Wargaming at the moment, for a little while, I wouldn't mind giving it a bit of a rest. Not the painting, I want to paint, but the playing side, like, fair enough, playing something different would be fine, but playing 40k for a little while, I'm going to give it a rest. I'm just a bit burnt out on the game. It didn't help, like, at the weekend, not winning a game. I thought I might have at least won the game, but I didn't, and it kind of threw me a little bit, but that's fine. See, this is the frustrating thing. If it had have been 7th edition rules, I think I would have won games. But 8th edition, I'm not, like, so it's tournament play, I know this, right? And everyone's playing for advantage and everything. But to have practically every single person had the same relic, had get command points back, farm command points, blah blah blah, and it got a bit boring after 1 or 2 games. I wasn't taking any relic like that. I don't farm command points. I just use what I've got, and it opened my eyes up to the tournament world, and I know that it's not my scene, so I don't think I'll do tournaments again. It's just no one's interested in the pushing a narrative to get a good game. Everyone just wants to win that game, and like I can't play 40k thinking I must win. It's just I don't find it enjoyable. So, like, don't get me wrong, everyone, you play a game to win. You don't play a game to make sure you lose. But when you're facing some armies and you look at it and you know from the start of the game that you've already lost, it's discouraging. It's a little bit discouraging. But it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, so like I said, I took a Monday night off from the club last night and watched the football and then didn't do much else. I think I played my PlayStation for a bit, which seems to be my go-to thing at the moment. Because it's easy. I mean, yeah, I know sitting on painting is not a hard thing, but it's a lot. I wouldn't say it's a lot more difficult, but it's not as easy as just sitting on my bed and playing my PlayStation. So it's and plus I've got engrossed in this game as well. So Star Trek Online, I'm trying to make my guy quite awesome, and it involves putting time and effort into it. So I have been. But there we go. It is what it is. And I've nearly finished. I've got a bit on the gold. I've nearly finished the edge highlighting on this red. It's just the crosses, the blood crosses. And these are my death company for my blood angels. They're the first 40k blood angels I've painted this year. I've just not really been motivated to actually paint them. But they're not painted red. Blood angels are mostly painted red. These are death company. So they're a little bit different. They're like madmen. But it's okay. You have to be kind of a little bit mad to want to fight in 40k anyway, so yeah. And I've been watching the World Cup. I've watched a few games. I've got to say, apart from the first 25 minutes or so of the England game, the England match is probably the worst match I've watched so far. Like the video referees, what was the point in them if they're not going to do anything when they're being rugby tackled to the floor? What can you do? But still, they won the game. Most important thing, right? So, what we're going to do now, I'm trying to work out a colour scheme for these Chaos Chosen, and I was considering just painting them silver, but I think if I'm going to do that, I'm going to spray paint them silver. So we're going to try and come up with a colour scheme for this. This is my Harlequin, and I've got an idea of doing a purple and another colour. Just not sure which. So, having done colour theory at school when I was doing my art classes, the thing, what comes to mind, let's see, so a purple and a white maybe. I'm not sure. So yeah, the colour theory at school. So making a purple would be a combination of a green and a purple is a green and a blue. A red and a blue. Sorry, purple. So I would say green, purple and green. No, that's getting a little weird. Anyway, I know half of it's going to be purple. So I'm going to start painting half in purple. And something may come to me. I had the idea of painting them like ghosts, but no, I don't think that would work very well. So we're going with the purple. And with Harlequins, you have some really weird paint schemes. You have checkers, you have stripes and stuff like that. I'm not doing them purely because I would like to get an army painted within a few years. If I was doing checkers, I would literally spend a load of time on one and then never do it again. So I may do it as for my characters, give them a bit more detail, but for now, let's do this purple. So, I've got some purple on my palette. This is Naggaroth Knight. And we're going to go paint the leg. So yeah, the games that I played at the weekend for the tournament. The first one was against, it's called Imperial Soup. Basically it's a mix of Imperial armies to get benefits of all the best bits from all of them. And my army, to be fair, my army just didn't get going. And yeah, it was my tactics and it's my dice rolling and whatever, but you know, the second game was against Dark Elder. Now, I've never played Dark Elder before. Well, I have, but it's been Homunculus Covens. They play a totally different way to how I was played against on Saturday. He was very quick. He wiped my army out in more or less one turn. But it's okay. And then I think he tabled me. I can't quite remember. I'm pretty sure he did. But it's fine. 40k is very much you either table your opponent or you get tabled now. You don't have games which is really tight, generally speaking. So it's a bit, it's losing its pull for me. 40k is. I liked the games of the 7th edition. They were tactical. They were close a lot of the time. They weren't just one side was going to win from the start. Generally speaking, it was anyway. And yeah, it's really put me off competitive play. The weekend did. Now I've been asked to go into another one, and I don't think I'm going to. It's the one for the winner. I don't think I want to enter that. So what I've done with this is I've done corners. So the torso, the right side of the torso is purple, and the left side of the lower legs is purple. So I'm going to try cornering. I've not painted an army like this before. This is quite an experience. And I've noticed I've not been on camera for like 10 minutes, but there you go. Yeah, I've not painted a Harlequin before. This is my first ever Harlequin, so I'm trying to make sure, because purple on a black undercoat can be difficult to see sometimes, and I'm just trying to make sure that I actually get what I need to get. I may even go with purple and black, because that looks okay. But we'll just do the second layer of the purple. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, got a bit distracted by idiot knocking on the front door. So yeah, so painting these Harlequins, I've never painted an army like this before, so it'll be something a bit different, a bit of a challenge. So just painting the second layer onto the legs, onto his legs or her legs. I think it's a female one. I believe so. So yeah, so we've got at the club we've got one more week of being in the Battle of Britain club. Then we go to the Conservative club, which is further up the road. So I'm not great with change. Like, I like to know where I am, if you know what I mean. I've got to say I'm a bit nervous about this Conservative club thing, but we'll have to see how it goes. I've got to say as well, I was a little bit disappointed by I set up a funding thing to get a little thank you present for the couple who run the Battle of Britain club. Very few people actually donated. I was a bit disappointed with that, but it's fine. So the group of us that have donated are going to be trying to decide what to get them. So yeah, it's okay. If people don't want to donate, it's up to them. I ain't going to push anything on anyone. Right, so it's the base colour for the purple finished. And literally, to paint these guys, I'm just going to be following the painting guides. So to shade Nagaroth Knight is Juicy Violet, but obviously I've got to wait for the colour to finish drying. And I'll give it an all over shade of that as well. But we can go and put the colour on the base, the texture paint on the base for these Death Company there. So I don't know if that will pick up very well, the purple. Notice that there's it does pick up a little bit. So we've got a bit of Astral Granite for the base for this the Death Company. And this is texture paint, so it does need a shake. And with texture paint, it's got like a grit in it. And I don't think I've done basing on one of these before. I've got this spatula tool. It's big plough bit one end and it's quite thin the other. And all I'm going to basically do is paste this onto the base. Now you want to try and do it so you don't get the texture paint onto the model, but it's quite difficult to not, especially when they're on a small base like this and they're in a really weird pose like Death Company all are, because they're charging into the enemy. So you need to use both ends of the sculpting lead tool, and just basically spread it across the base. If you get it on the bottom side of the feet, it's fine, that doesn't matter too much, but you don't want to get it on the other bits of the armour. So this week coming up, I haven't really got anything planned. I was considering going into Games Workshop and having a few hours painting in there one day this week, but I always feel like when I go into Games Workshop, which kind of everyone should feel like this, that you are required to buy something. I know you're not. I know the guy that runs the shop, I've known him for quite a few years now, and I know he wouldn't mind me taking up space without buying anything, but it's a shop. If everyone took up space and never bought anything, the shop would shut down. So I'll find something I want to buy. May not cost a hell of a lot, but it might be a book or something like that. I shouldn't really buy any more models because I have models everywhere, but we'll see. And we're going to jump onto number 2, and he's got the same pose as the other one. He's got his foot lifted. So I'm not putting massive amount on these bases. Doesn't really need a lot, and I find with this as well, this texture paint, once you've put it down and you're happy with the coverage, you got to give it about half hour, let it dry a little bit, then come back and just kind of mess up the texture a little bit again, because it dries really flat otherwise. And this texture paint it's called texture paint for a reason, because you want to have a texture on the base. So yeah, letting it dry flat's not a great idea. So that's number 2, more or less done. You see this Harlequin that I've got an idea for their bases, to make it look like they're all on Wraithbone bases. Wraithbone is basically what they make their vehicles and that out of. It's like a living metal. And the Age of Sigmar Shattered Dominion bases actually would work really quite well with that. So I might be doing that, in which case the model will be clipped off its base. Right, that's not a problem. But then again, I might not do that. We'll see. We'll see how I feel once the paint scheme's decided on. And I mean, with this purple, I know I've seen some Harlequins in purple before, but sometimes it's pretty cool to make up your own colour scheme. So I was tempted to go purple and red, but most of my armies are red in some way. So I'm going to try and steer clear of reds for the Harlequins, because I've painted so much red. I've had a bit of it. I'm a bit sick of painting red. So yeah, we'll see when I'm at the stage where I need to base them. Well, when I actually get around to painting them. So yeah, so with the tournament over now, I can now get on to just paint what I want to paint. I've not got commitments on my painting time. I've agreed to take on a commission, which is for a tank, which shouldn't be too much problem. But it's a red tank, so again painting red, but it's fine. Might push me to get some of my red tanks painted as well, but we'll see. So that's number 3 done. This one's a bit easier because he's properly standing on the base. But yeah, I've had people ask me how I base my models before, and this textured thing is just purely, but it's following Games Workshop's colour scheme. It's just texture paint with a dry brush. It's that easy. But it works. It definitely works. So I've got like all my 40k armies based this way. I wanted to try and make it so they look cohesive. And because my boards that I have, which I've got back from the club now, so I've actually got gaming boards at home. I've not got a table to put them on, but I have gaming boards. They're painted the same grey, the textured grey. I actually really want to repaint them because I painted them in a rush before, and I could do a much better job of what I did. But it's having the space to do it. It's kind of takes up loads of space sort of thing, because the boards are 2x2, 2 foot by 2 foot, so they're not small. I couldn't sit and paint them up in my room like I'd sit in here and paint it in my room, so I would have to wait till I get a day to myself and then get stuck into them. So based on the last guy, I need to reshape this pot. Just fill up the lid again. So yeah, so it's been an okay weekend. It was Father's Day as well, so Sunday I was at the club most of the day, but I got home in time for dinner, and gave my dad his card and his keg of Copperberg, and the silly little present I give him, which was a tiny miniaturised arcade machine for his desk. It's got like all old Spectrum games and stuff on it. Just thought it'd be a bit of a laugh. He'd probably never open it, probably never play it, but I thought with him, he's coming up. He's got retirement coming up. His last day at work is in a week or so. Well, last official day. BA have this thing where they keep you on, kind of like on call to do jobs and whatever for 6 months or whatever. So right, okay, so that's the basis for the Death Company done. Okay, it's quite warm in here at the moment. It's the temperatures. The sun's not out, not particularly, but it is still quite warm. So I'm just going to take a quick break. I'll be back in a minute. Right, and I'm back. So we're going to go back to this Harlequin, and we're going to shade the purple that I've done on him. Let's get his Death Company off my paint station. So what I'm going to do is just thin this shade down a tiny bit. Get some onto my palette. I need to shade it down too much, just thin it down, sorry. Just want to thin it a little bit. See, and sometimes I would do a recess shading rather than a full shade, but I'm not going to. Sometimes a recess shading can be a bit too much work, so all over shade will do. I can reapply the Naggaroth Knight afterwards. So we're just going to go, we'll start with the leg. We're going to put this shade all over. Give it a bit of a shiny look, but that's okay because it's not finished yet. It's still got layers to go on the purple. So that's the leg, and then the torso, and the arm. And the collar. If you know anything about Harlequins, they're basically like clowns. They're actors, performers, but they're quite deadly with it. This just gives the Droop Sheep Violet just gives it a really nice richness to the purple. Unfortunately, then it means that I've got to leave it for a little while to dry, but that's okay because it's a shade. It's got to be expected. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do their masks white with a slight blue shade to it. So again, I can't really do any more with that Harlequin until the shade's dry, so we go on to something else which we are going to do. Let's have a look at Logan Grim now, see how much he needs doing on him. So I think I'm going to paint the silver part. There's more gold to be painted on him. I'll come back to him in another time. So like I said, with the whole texture paint, see, you won't be able to see this too well. It's drying, but it's starting to dry flat. So what you just do is you grab your spatula tool again and just kick some of the textured paint up a little bit. Just move it about a little bit, just give it a bit of a texture, because otherwise you end up with a really flat looking base and it doesn't look very good. It's about moving the texture around and keeping, just giving it a bit of life. This first one. This one's definitely dried a lot flat, so again, just the texture paint takes a while to dry as well. It's not a quick drying paint. It's got sand in it, so it takes a little while. So you can do this. You can give it, like I said, 15-20 minutes or so, and just go back over it. Gives it like they're running over gravel and broken concrete, that kind of thing, which all my armies are, because the boards that I've got are basically painted up to be like an Imperial world, a Forge world, not Forge world, a Hive world, Imperium planet where it's been under siege for ages and whatever, so it's supposed to look like they're running over gravel and broken up buildings and stuff like that. So, and all of my armies are tied together except my Harlequins. I haven't tied them into the story of my armies as yet. This is why they may have a different colour base. but we'll see. Basically, from a few years ago, there was a bit of the history that everyone loves to take the mick out of about Necrons and Blood Angels joining up to beat a Tyranid Hive Fleet. And once they had beaten the Hive Fleet, Dante thought it would be dishonourable to turn on their former allies. So they didn't fight. They parted their ways, and everyone finds they love to take the mick out of that bit of fluff, which I've then taken it on board to actually make it part of my armies. So just to annoy people, I guess. I can be a troll sometimes, but who cares? So that purple is just still drying a little bit. So these guys. These are my Chaos Chosen. I've had these models quite a while now. I rebased them because they were on square bases before. They're on a 32mm round base now. I was considering doing an all-over silver model. Then giving it some weathering and some shades and some dry brush. Make it a really simple paint scheme. There's a lot of underpaint still on it. But I really don't know. Like, I might still do that. I'm just not sure. But yeah, there's 5 of these guys here. I've got more. This is the drum basher, whatever they're called. The drummer. I'm just a little bit at a loss to what to do with them. I might put them back in the case. I don't know. But I definitely want to get around to repainting this guy. Now, when I say repainting, I intend to respray him. He's got a bit of dust on him, so I actually need to clean him first. So what I'll probably do is I'll soak him in water for a little bit, and then I will respray him black and repaint him, because as much as he looks pretty cool in that red paint scheme, I don't like it. So yeah, but I also want to get onto building and painting other things. So I've got this set which I've had since Christmas. I haven't opened it or whatever yet, and this is for Malifaux. It makes 3, they're like archers. They're called December Acolytes. I want to build them. I might build them later tonight and get the rest of my Malifaux crew out and just sit and paint them, but we'll see. So we're going to start going back over this Harlequin. So we've got the Naggaroth Knight again. In fact, rather than go with Naggaroth Knight, let's go with Xerxes Purple. It doesn't need to re-establish Naggaroth Knight, because the Druchii Violet's quite dark, but so is the Naggaroth Knight anyway. So Druchii Violet, sorry, Xerxes Purple is the next colour up, and I think I'll just, the Xerxes Purple will be the final colour on the Harlequins, because on the purple, that is. I don't want to edge highlight them because they're all cloth, and sometimes edge highlighting on cloth can look a bit weird. But I may consider doing the other side a cream colour, so there'll be purple and cream. We'll see. But then again, I'll probably paint their weapons cream, so I don't know. We'll see. As the model develops, we'll see. So we're gonna just start putting the detail on. And like I said before, People put checkers and stripes and stuff on their Harlequins. I won't. I want to try and get this. I've got about 2,000 points of Harlequins. Probably need to buy 1 or 2 more vehicles, but I'm quite close to having the full 2k that I wanted. And I was never going to go above 2k. Harlequins are a very limited army with what they can take. But I did want to bring. I want to get a Wraith Knight and paint him like he's a Harlequin. If you don't know what Wraith Knights are, they're massive wraithbone constructs. They're basically like giant elder. And I want to convert one up to look like a Harlequin. But I don't know. It all depends on what happens in the next few weeks with work and stuff, so as to whether I could afford to get one. Yeah, a Wraith Knight is a model that I've actually wanted to paint, but I've had no reason to. So yeah, we'll see. So I'm talking like I've got to really be careful with my money and stuff, and I should, because I know I'm not working, but I don't really need to. If I wanted to go and spend money, I could go and spend money. It's up to me. But for the time being, I don't know how long I'll be out of work for. I'm pretty sure I won't be out of work long, but you never know. Okay, so put the first layer of purple on his legs, on her legs, sorry. So we just do the collar. For the first time in a long time, I've put a fair amount of energy into the Harlequins. Because I didn't. They have single pose models for their characters, and their characters are Shadowseers, the Death Jesters, and I wanted something that looks a bit different, so I kit bashed. I've got a plastic Shadowseer, I've got a metal Shadowseer, and I've got a kit bashed one, and I did the same with the Death Jesters. So not all 3 of them will look the same, but I still need to put some more work into them to actually get them finished. I need a bit of green stuff, which I've got some green stuff sitting on my desk, because I found it at last. After months of looking for it, I finally found my green stuff. So if you don't know what green stuff is, it's a 2-part modelling clay. Should we say clay? It's not clay. It's green and blue, basically. It's yellow and blue. That makes green. When you mix them together, it turns green, and you can use it to sculpt models. You can use it to fill gaps, that kind of a thing. Let's just. I know I'm near the end of the video. I'm just panning it up a little bit. Now I'm just realised how off camera I've been for the whole video, but okay. I'm not 100% with it today. Like I said, the tournament over the weekend kind of threw me a little bit, so I wasn't expecting to be at the bottom of the table, but it's fine. So yeah, it's I was talking about green stuff. Because with Logan Grimnar, that's been sitting on my desk for ages, I've got to put some green stuff in the hole in his chariot base so that I can put a magnet in there. Now that I've found my green stuff, I can actually do it and hopefully get him finished. But we'll see. I've got the time on my hands now to get him finished. I really should. Now I think with this Harlequin I'm going to go to the third layer and put a bit more detail on him. On her, sorry. This is clearly a her. I'm not used to painting female models, but there you go. And also, if I'm going to play this army, I need to learn which weapons are which, because I've built these not really knowing. So this one's got the, I think it's the Embrace. And of course they're all built for 7th edition, so the weapons all do different things now compared to what they did then. So I've got to look up the army and find out what all of it does, and maybe learn to play them. Yeah, we'll see. So I'm near the end of my hour rant, ramble. It's not been a rant today. It's been a reflection on a disappointing weekend through my own mistakes, choices, whichever. But it's been an experience. It's taught me something new, which is fine. I'm all about learning new things, and yeah, it's been okay. So I'm just putting the purple onto the cloak now. See, the cloak I was considering doing making it look like a brown coat, but I think just doing the quartered purple will be okay. But like I said, we'll see. This is a test model anyway, so it's a spare guy that I've got, so I can always strip this if I want to. This is one thing I was thinking about doing today, because I haven't been really in the mood to paint. I was considering showing how I strip models with my ultrasonic cleaner and stuff, because I've still got some models for other people that I need to get stripped. I've still got to collect some from one guy at the club as well. He hasn't been around for a while, so I'm sure if he remembers he will be bringing some down with him next Monday. But we'll see. Okay, so I think I'm gonna call it there. So what I'll do, I'll see if I can give you a quick look at see what this Harlequin looks like now that he's got his purple down. It probably needs another layer of purple, which I'll have a look at in a minute. But you can clearly see the purple on the screen now. I know the white balance is off slightly because I've got my blinds open. I normally don't do that, but yeah. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you very much if you've listened up to this point. Again, I'm BigFriendlyWarGamer, or Gareth to my friends, and I will catch you again next week. Thank you very much, and goodbye.